So now we're moving on to developing those personal financial goals, different types of goals, of course, that would be involved. Um, uh, they can be influenced by the time frame which you want to achieve your goals, be influenced by the financial needs that drive your goals. So the timing of those goals, short-term, intermediate, long-term goals. Long-term goals, again, should be planned in coordination with short and intermediate goals. So these are all linked together is really what we're saying. So an example of like a short-term goal might be, developing a budget that you can live with on a daily basis. And these are things that we all do as a matter of course, right? Intermediate goals might be something, set it up in terms of like time frame, chronologically speaking. It might be, the short-term goal might be 1 day, 1 month, 1 year. Intermediate goal might be over a course of a few years, and long-term goals, of course, would include such things as, planning to, purchase a home, for example, or planning for retirement, etc. So these are all things that are part and parcel of developing those financial goals. So breaking this down a bit, and these are pretty much economic terms when we start talking about these things, there's a strong linkage between finance and economics. But anyhow, so the goals for different financial needs, consumable product goals like short term, right? Things that you need on a daily basis, or short term basis, durable product goals, vehicle purchases, home buying, etc., intangible purchase goals, things that you really can't affix a dollar figure to those things, whatever that might be. Might be a vacation, okay? You can affix a dollar to that. It's something that the worth to you is something that is not something that's going to be lasting. It's something that is going to be out there that you're going to appreciate and so on and so forth. But it's not something you will be able to hold on to in your hand like you would the keys to your car, etc. You get the idea. Anyways, different goal setting guidelines. Again, these are little acronyms to throw out there. Goals should be SMART, right? S as in specific, know what those goals are when you create a plan. Measurable. If it's not worth if it's not worth measuring, then it's not worth doing. Oftentimes, this is what one of my bosses used to say. Action oriented, identifying those personal financial activities. Really having a good idea of what you're actually measuring. Realistic, utilizing your income and life situation. Being realistic, set the bar high, but keep in mind that it has to be realistic. You're 25 years of age, and how realistic is it that you're going to retire by the age of 30? Not very, right? Unless you, for whatever reason, you win the lottery. Okay, we're back to that again. Time-based, identify the time frame to achieve those goals. To achieve your short-term goal, your mid-term goal, your medium-term goal, your long-term goal. So opportunity cost, the time value of money, personal opportunity cost, and financial opportunity cost. Opportunity cost, big word. It's an economic term, and basically what it means is that what you're foregoing, the item that you're foregoing in order to when you select something, you're selecting that over something else. This is just the nature of decision making. Decision making meaning that you've got one choice over another. And what you're doing is you're saying that the choice you're making is it's based on whatever the reasons, it's a better choice than the other option that you forego, that you did not take, right? So every financial decision involves us giving up something to obtain something else. Personal opportunity cost would include such things as time. Other personal opportunity costs related to health, leisure, etc. What you're foregoing your time to rest so that you can go out there and work and gain income, and there are a lot of things that go along with that. Personal resources, require careful management. You've got to consider these things, and we do this on a whether we realize it or not, and it's something that it's worthwhile to kind of think about these things intentionally at times, to get practice, understanding why it is we make the decisions that we make. Short-term pain for long-term gain type of a scenario is oftentimes the things that we encounter. Financial opportunity cost, the time value of money that we brought up somewhat before with that rule of 72, meaning that with this idea of compounding interest, that time value of that over time it's going to increase the value of whatever that asset is, whatever that savings vehicle. So the time value of money really comes down to this. It's the bird in the hand versus two birds in the bush type of an idea, meaning that if we had our choice, we would spend every dime that we had, meaning if this would be something that we would prefer to do. But rather than spend that, we set it aside we're paying ourselves down the road, if you will. And that comes at a very, very high opportunity cost. So that's really what time value of money comes down to, is that for us to forego something, to forego spending that money, so we're saving it instead or investing it instead, then there's a very, very high opportunity cost associated with it. So this is what we really have to consider. Is it worthwhile doing this? And the question, it's one of those things where you say, would you be willing to sacrifice a little bit now for a bonus later on, right? It's really what it comes down to. So increase the amount of money as a result of interest. Earned interest is the metric, if you will, that we're being paid for that time value of money. We're being paid that's where our opportunity cost comes into play. So again, saving today means more money tomorrow. Spending means lost interest, that we're foregoing, surrendering some future gain, if you will. So considering all these things that we would go through, these are the different aspects of that opportunity cost, right? So interest is the price that we pay for that time value of money, for surrendering that money for a period of time. We want, in order for us to lend the money, for example, you expect interest in return. It's a really straightforward prospect. So computing this simple interest is pretty straightforward. So again, the three amounts that are required in this calculation are principal, interest rate, and the time involved. So the amount of savings times the annual interest rate times the time period equals the interest amount. For example, you have $100 and that's earning 5% over 1 year period. So you just take $100 times the 0.05, which is again the 5%, times 1 gives us $5. So in 1 year's time, you're going to be receiving an additional $5 in addition to your $100 that you had to surrender. This is where the time value of money comes into play. So you've got to give up the $100 in order to get $105, 12 months, 1 year down the road. So again, at any rate, this is what we're talking about with that simple interest. So there are a variety of ways that we can value this. We can arrive at using this time value of money, this interest calculations. The first would be the future value of a single amount, and that is again the future value is the amount at which current savings will increase based on the current interest rate, and so on and so forth that we've already talked about before with that simple interest. The second would be the future value of a series of deposits. So this is when we're taking that, the money, this is called an annuity, by the way, and we're compounding that interest over a period of time. Now they're looking at us, that's going forward, and now we're going to bring it back to the present value. that single amount, the present value, is the current value of a future amount based on the interest rate in this time period involved. So this is called, where the other is called an annuity, this is called a discounting rather. So we're bringing the money back. So $1 million 10 years from now, what is that worth today? So this is where we backtrack so far as that interest is concerned. So again, the present value of a series of deposits. So we can, if you're depositing $100 every month, or every year going forward, this is that, over and over again depositing those funds. So it can get a little complicated, but it's actually pretty straightforward, and it's something that when we walk through these calculations, it makes sense, especially when we have access to a lot of different tools that are out there, including like spreadsheets, software like Excel, lots of different websites that are out there, including calculator.net is one of the ones I turn to pretty frequently, and it's very, very helpful in computing that the various interest rates and so on and so forth. So again, now we're just going to be walking once again through this cycle. We're achieving our financial goals. And again, we're identifying the strategies for achieving personal financial goals for different life situations, the different cycles, different portions of our life. But at any rate, so the way this class is set up is that we start with we're obtaining our financial assets, if you will. The second part would be that planning, how we plan to prosecute our financial life, if you will. Saving, what we do when we do obtain, when we do acquire some assets, if you will. Borrowing, when we're borrowing in order to live our lives, to buy homes, to pay for families, to buy cars, to make purchases. Unless we are financially independent, etc., then we would be borrowing. It's typically part of it. And when you borrow, what that really means is that you're borrowing in order to spend, in order to purchase, making those purchases. And this is that the purchasing decision that takes, again, steps would be involved with that. And then managing the risk that's associated with life in general, whatever that might be, the insurance that we would be having for vehicles, the life insurance, the homeowner's insurance, etc. And then, as you build up your assets, you want to invest. And the reason you want to invest, of course, is to secure a retirement for you going forward. And finally, again, is that controlling your financial future in terms of retirement and estate planning. So you've lived your life, and you've got money set aside, and you've got some money left over, and you may have a home. You want to make sure that goes to the people that you want it to go to. Excuse me, that's where the estate planning piece comes into place. So again, this is a cycle as we go through.